Welcome back. We're chatting a little bit more deeply about managing your vendors throughout the company. And last time we went into depth about the need of maintaining a system of record of all of your key vendors throughout the entire company and all the important meta information that you need to track. Oftentimes this is tracked in Excel, but we think it's much more important to track this in software where you can actually automate it, keep it up to date, and really importantly is help understand how you're managing change to this system of record. Traditionally, apps might come into the system of record in a very ad hoc way as different departments or team leaders or individuals in a company adopt new software. And that can be risky from a security standpoint and could also introduce a lot of financial waste as you might have duplicate products. The other problem is what happens as you're changing vendors. So we like to think of vendor management not just as a point-in-time system of record, but as this ongoing living life cycle. And a better way, instead of having an ad hoc way of adding vendors, a better way is to start with what is the business need for a given vendor? Are they trying to solve a particular solution? Do they have something that can be done better with a new piece of software? So once you understand the business need that someone's trying to solve, the next step is likely a set of approval to really make sure that this particular business need is best met with a new piece of software versus an existing piece of software or another process. And then finally, once it's approved, then the next natural step, given how complex businesses are today and how important software is to really be disciplined and deliberate about how things get rolled out. Do you need to train people? Do you need to purchase a license? Does that product need to be integrated? And then this rollout includes updating your system of record with now this new piece of technology that you've adopted in the company. So this is the first half of the vendor life cycles. How do you add vendors into your company? The back half is, as you're tracking these vendors in your system of record, what happens when they come up for renewal? Well, every time you're renewing a piece of software, especially one with a big annual commitment, you really need to understand, is that piece of software still meeting that business need that drove its adoption in the first place? So you might want to do a lifecycle stage where you run that renewal through another approval process to make sure that it's still meeting your business functions. And if the answer is yes to the approval, then you'll want to review all of your processes, update your system of record. But if the answer is no, in terms of whether you're going to renew that vendor or not, you'll probably want to terminate that vendor relationship. And when you terminate a vendor relationship, you need to double check, does that vendor have access to sensitive data that might need to be deleted? Were there any other components in your contract that need to be reviewed? And termination in an age of SaaS, especially with your really key critical vendors, is not as simple as just pausing the renewal. It's about really being thoughtful about what does that vendor termination mean. So when you step back and look at this entire vendor lifecycle management, it's really important to think of not just the moment in time authoritative source of your vendors, which is this system of record, but how vendors are coming in, being approved, rolled out, and how they're being renewed and possibly terminated. And in the next set of videos, we'll dive in a little bit more to each of these, how people request and approve new vendors, and how they renew and terminate them. See you then.